right, you godless heathens, let's talk about functions. Okay, and what are functions? Functions are reusable snippets of code that have a name. Okay, how do you use them? You write them, you create them, you define what they do, and then when you need to access them, you call them, you pick them up on the phone. Hello, function. Oh, can you do your job? All right, great, thanks. Bye. All right. Once you're done calling it, the function ends and its job is done. So I got a little Java test class pulled up right here, and you guys already know about the main method in Java, right? And this is essentially a function, all right? And it's kind of like the driver function, but more importantly, I'm talking about functions that we make on our own. So what if I wanted a function that received a string variable, okay, like a name, and I wanted it to print that name in the terminal, all right? So let me write this out. Public static string. Should say lowercase string. Nah, capital. String, and I'll just call this guy print names. All right. All right, so this line 8 right here, this is called the function header or the function declaration, okay? Public is the access type, so we want this function to be accessible elsewhere. Static, don't worry about that for now. String, this is going to be the return type, okay? So this is the type that the function returns, not the type that it takes in, but a type that it sends back when it's called, all right? And then it's just got a name, print names. This name is how we call and invoke this function, okay? All right, so inside the main, well, actually, I'll finish the function first. Okay, so I said I wanted this function to take in a string name and print it on the screen, right? So in these little parameter things right here, we have open, close params. This is where the input for our function is defined, all right? And so in this case, we only want to take in one variable, and it's of type string, right? So then I have to define that I want to take a string variable by using the string keyword. So I'll say string, all right? And then I just need to give this particular string variable that's coming into here a nickname, all right? It could just be, it could literally be whatever you want it to be, all right? In this case, I'll just call it S, all right? Then I said I wanted it to print on the terminal, okay? So I'll just use system.out.println, okay? And I'll just say S, all right? Because basically, whenever you call this function, all right, and you pass it in a string, you can think of it like this. That string that you passed in now becomes this S, all right? The value becomes associated with the value of S. So S is kind of like a placeholder, or you can think of it as a nickname, all right? Then, if you want to access that data inside of the function, you need to access it by using the name S, not the name of the original variable that was being pushed into the function. And so if I want to print out that variable, I just say, all right, print out S. All right, so now let's make a string inside the method main and then call this function and pass in that string. So I'm going to say string name equals Josh. All right, very good. Congratulations. I made a thing. Now I just need to, let's see, test t equals new test. Need to make an instance of this test class to call that function, and I'll just say t dot print names, and then I'll just say name. All right. So let's look at that. See what that looks like. See if it works. All right. So I compiled it. Oh, I have an error. Missing return statement. Uh-oh, line 17. Whoops, let's see. Line 17. Oh, yeah, I just want to return. Actually, in this case, I don't need to return anything. I'm just going to make this a void return type, okay? And all I want the function to do is, once it's called, pick up the phone. Hey, print names. Can you do your job? Thanks. You're great. Bye. Hang up. And its job in this case is just one line of code, and that's to invoke the print line function from the system out, all right? And then the function's over with. So let me save that. Let's recompile it over here. All right, now I just have to say Java test. All right, and print out my name. Great, lovely, awesome. All right, so breakdown again. A function is a reusable snippet of code that's defined by name, okay? This first line is called the function header, all right? And it's got some properties to that function. So in this case, this function is a public static void, so there's no return type. It's not returning anything. It's called print names, and it receives a string, all right? An arbitrary string that we're calling S, okay? It doesn't have to be S. It could be like, it could be salamander if you wanted it to, all right? It doesn't really matter. But if I change this to salamander, I need to put this to be salamander down here too, right? This S. Okay, and in here, I'm calling the function, all right? I'm passing it in that name variable up top here that I created, all right? And like I said before, you could think of it that name variable now becomes salamander in this case, and then we're accessing that same data from the name variable, which is Josh, via salamander. All right, like, comment, subscribe. I hope that was simple enough. If you have any questions, leave a comment. Peace.